This is one of the historic battle flags that we have. I was asked to do some research, look for a funder who would give us some money to restore these flags.
My job here is to upgrade computers from XP to Windows 7.
Helping with some of the cataloging work.
We are blessed right now to have around 2,200 volunteers who are giving us around 55,000 hours of service a year. So let's understand what that means. That's worth about $1 million a year. That's a tremendous contribution to the Historical Society.
As staff are planning their work plan for the year, we hope that you'll consider bringing a volunteer on board to help you through that process. Volunteers can enhance our mission.
We were thinking about volunteers right from the beginning and built them into our process. I've been relying on them even more as we grow.
Many times staff might feel it takes too much time to work with a volunteer, and we're really busy. But volunteers, if you put a little bit of upfront time into that experience, you're going to benefit greatly once they come on board with you.
They create the actual content for Minipedia. They follow a template that we give them, but they are the ones who do the research, do the writing, assemble all the pieces that make a Minipedia entry.
I'd like to address head-on a concern that I've heard expressed about volunteers, which is that volunteers somehow threaten employment, or that employing volunteers takes away jobs. We have more needs in our organization than we have funds to fulfill them. In any given department, there's a workload and there's a level of funding and staffing, and there are any number of unmet needs. And if we're able to bring on a volunteer or volunteers with their lifetime skills and interests to address one of those unmet needs, that enables us to focus our attention on how we can bring resources to bear to meet some of the other unmet needs.
We can't create content fast enough to populate the encyclopedia. We launched with 30 articles. We're now up to just under 300 in 2.5 years. But we're a staff of 3, and we can't create content fast enough to grow in the ways that we need to grow.
Mary brings so many skills to the exhibits department. The thing about Mary is that she has a background that's very different from the backgrounds that many of us come from.
I've had 2 major careers. The first one was as a medical technologist, where I worked in the laboratory of the hospital. And my last major career was in computers. I was a programmer initially and then became a manager at a large insurance company.
The skills she brings are skills that we simply don't have in the department. For example, she's worked a lot with databases. She's done a lot of work in her past life organizing large amounts of information and making them make sense to people. So when we're planning a project from start to finish, we really do look at the skills that our volunteers bring us and use those people to, honestly, sometimes to plug holes and to do work that otherwise wouldn't get done.
The volunteer office tried to match my skills to projects that they had that were important to accomplish. I was pleased because this project does involve a lot of thinking and a lot of judgment, which drew on my past background but applied it to a new area of operation.
The Minnesota Historical Society is one of the premier places to volunteer in the state of Minnesota.
It was the first place and actually the only place that I looked to volunteer, and I was lucky to find a position here.
I retired exactly 6 months ago, and I had put in a request before I retired to come to work for the Society, see if they had anything going.
The people who are attracted to our volunteer positions are people who want to come and make a difference.
Doing important work, working with people who are committed to doing a good job.
I've been a member of the Society for more than a dozen years. I've been down here a lot researching the family tree. I like what the Historical Society stands for and felt that that's a place that I wanted to be to spend some of my retirement time.
I have fabulous people in my department who are always wanting to do more than what they have the time to do. Great creative thinkers that are always looking, how can we make this bigger and better? And instead of having them collapse in a heap, on the floor to meet their ambitions, I would love to see them integrate more skilled volunteers into their work plans. Not only would that help them to get more of their dreams accomplished, but I think it's a great way for us to add new perspectives into our department.
At our current level, our volunteers right now are increasing our capacity by 6 or 7%. That's pretty good, but we're just getting started.
So go out there and get some volunteers and let's achieve our dreams, people.